You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Posture Screen, Chiro Thin, Imaging Services, Zingit Solutions, Chiro Moguls, Rhino Coaching, Local Gold, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Go Get Talks, Mahalo Wellness, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Chiro Health USA, and Fit to Lift. Let's hustle. All right, everybody, Jim Chester coming to you live. Once again, I have Peter Goldman over in San Francisco. I'm coming in from the Mile High City today. This is Denver, Colorado. And Pete has a hands-on seminar coming up in Newark, New Jersey on December 7th and 8th that you guys should click the link above in the description and come out there and learn from the greatest in the profession that does what he does. So, Pete, welcome to the show again, man.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate being here, and I have a lot of cool stuff to talk about today, so ready to roll anytime.
Well, let's ramp right into it. What is the topic that you want to discuss today? I know we're going to talk about creating a practice that's serving people with more depth than just musculoskeletal, but let's talk about this event that you have going on and why you're taking it to Newark, because I know you just did one out in San Diego, and it was sold out.
Yeah, so we had a great one there. I'm actually teaching one in Hawaii next weekend. And for all you MMA fans out there, BJ Penn, who's one of the greatest MMA fighters ever, and one of my very, very close friends and my clients since 2004, I said, hey BJ, I'm coming out to Oahu to teach a seminar for my zone school. He's like, oh, I'm taking the seminar. I'm like, well, you can't really take the seminar. I mean, but anyway, so he's coming to the seminar. We're gonna spend a lot of time on my free time there. And he's going to stop by the seminar. So we'll put him in the class picture to make him look like he was in the seminar. But anyway, so in December, I'm teaching one in Newark. I mean, it's my home area. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, which is right near Newark. It's a half-hour drive from Newark Airport. I wanted to do it there because we've taught, seminars in Atlanta twice, Vegas, Chicago, LA, San Diego, et cetera, et cetera. Then we have Hawaii coming up. I wanted to do Newark because I have a lot of requests from East Coast people who wanted me to come out there. This seminar is open to zone school and non-zone school members alike. So if you're in zone school, come on down. If you're not in zone school, find out what all the hype is about. And as far as and Jim put the links in there, as far as the non-musculoskeletal, let me say this. First of all, I want to just say, if you're a chiropractor and you're watching, I don't mean to piss you off. Meaning, if you're happy with your practice, please don't, let anything I say upset you, because if you're happy with your practice, I'm happy for you. But if you're talking about being a nervous system doctor and having and seeing more than neck and back pain, then you should pay attention. So here's the deal. So we have 450 members roughly in zone school. And one of the members contacted me and said, hey, Pete, can I come observe you in your office? And people do that quite a bit. And he came. And then after he came to observe, he put a post in in our zone school closed, private Facebook group. And what he said in the post was, he said, I observed Dr. Pete, and 90+% of the people who came in, it was a very busy day, so a lot of people came in, 90+% of the people who came in for non-musculoskeletal chief complaints. Non-musculoskeletal. So I think that day, I remember when he came in a few days ago, one patient came in and said they had a stiffness in their upper back, and one patient came in and said their hip hurt. But the other 38 patients who came in that morning, I just worked a couple hours, the other 38 patients or whatever it was, okay, so we had 2 people who flew in from Singapore, and I'm not talking about people who were going to be in San Francisco anyway. I mean people who flew in from Singapore specifically to see me for a week and a half, and basically is the husband and wife. The woman had some ear condition. First of all, she couldn't hear. She had hearing aids in, and they wanted to do surgery on her ears. They told her she had some kind of like puncture in her eardrum. I didn't even understand what she was saying. It didn't matter. The husband came in with a situation of high blood sugar and also a weak bladder, and also was sleeping with gloves because of the pain and paresthesia in his hands. When my friend, when my student came to watch, and he observed all the things that day. He saw that that woman was not wearing hearing aids, could hear pretty damn well, on the way to even better. We have a few more days. The guy told us that he's not getting up to pee 10 times a night anymore. He didn't get up to pee at all. His blood sugar is improving, and he doesn't sleep with those gloves anymore. And that's basically people who flew in from Singapore and saw me like 4 times and, seeing me maybe 3 more, whatever. So he saw that. He saw another person come in who had a severe condition, who was basically dying, who told my student asked him, about it. He said he was on the verge of suicide. He went to the top neurologist at Stanford. They had nothing for him, and he came. He also flies in, by the way. So my friend saw 3 people fly in that day, and he flew in again, and he's completely healed and fine. And this is after he had tried several chiropractic and naturopathic and acupuncture and medicine methods to no avail, and flew in several times, and it was all better. And then also just want to add to that my friend, same guy, who, he's in zone school, so he's a zone school member, but we were friends before he was in zone school. So not only is he a member, but he's my good friend. And he was a great chiropractor before he ever met me. His dad's a chiropractor. He grew up with it. But anyway, he referred a person to me. He referred a patient, but check this out. Terrible fluid buildup in their abdomen. They were having their abdomen drained, I think, at least weekly, maybe more than once a week. And also had liver failure to whatever degree that was. I would say she was dying, quite frankly. Now, what I'm going to say now is going to blow people's minds, because what people understand about what chiropractic can do is very limited, even the so-called great chiropractors these days. She came in 3 times. I saw her 2 minutes each. So I saw her 6 minutes, Jim, 3 times, once a week. She came in 3 times, once a week, 2 minutes each. Went back to the hospital, no more fluid in her abdomen, liver is healing. The hospital said, don't come back anymore because we don't have to drain fluid anymore, and your liver is functioning and it's healing. So a lot of people talk about care plans, come in, 3 times a week for 6 months. D.D. Palmer told his disciples, if it takes you more than 5 adjustments to heal someone totally or help someone heal totally, then you're doing something wrong. Come back for a refresher course. So that's what, D.D. Palmer style is happening in my office, and people who join Zone School will learn. And if you don't like it, it's free. As Jim always loves when I say, Zone School's money back guarantee. Actually, since I talked to you last, I gave another refund. So I said 8 refunds. Now I've given 9 refunds. I gave a refund yesterday. I'll tell you about that refund. It's pretty funny. But 450 students have given 9 refunds and join the Zone School. You'll either say to me, Pete, it's the best decision I've made in my healing career, like 300 other people have told me, or you'll say you don't like it and you get a refund, and of course write it off. But listen, write it off as a business expense. But also, let me tell you about the refund. I got a refund request, my 9th refund request yesterday. I gave him the refund, gave her the refund. She said to me, Dr. Pete, I actually loved your school, but I decided I'm going to get out of chiropractic. I don't want to be a chiropractor anymore, so I want a refund, which I thought was kind of, the refund is for when you're not satisfied. But you know what? I didn't fight with her. I gave her the refund. But anyway, so even the refund I gave yesterday was someone who loved the school, just decided to retire and didn't want to, whatever. So that's what I have to say about Newark, and that's what I have to say about Zone School and care plans and having a practice which is 90% non-musculoskeletal chief complaint.
So we have a friend of mine, Michael Daly, who's over in Scotland that's in the hospital right now. He needs a zone practitioner over in Scotland. Who do we have over there?
Dawn. He knows Dawn. Dawn Blazer, Dr. Dawn Blazer is in Zone School. She's in Scotland, and they know each other. I've seen them interact with each other, so he can contact Dawn, and she's a superstar.
Yeah, he definitely needs some care. He's a chiropractic warrior over there. He's always supporting what we're doing with Chiro Hustle. So sending you white light and healing, my friend. Go find yourself a zone practitioner, get cleared out, and let the body start balancing out and healing. They'll check the back of your head. They'll find out where those tender spots are. They'll clear you out, and your body will start regulating the way it's supposed to, just like you're talking about with this gal that went to the hospital that was getting fluid in her abdomen. The guy that was or the gal that was losing her hearing. the guy that was getting the incontinence during bedtime. A lot of these things that people are dealing with, they just don't honestly know how to manage it, and they go to the other type of doctor. And I like to let people know that you should have two doctors in your life, one to keep you healthy, like Dr. Pete and his systems, and then one to save you from dying. And I believe that we have to have both types because in this country, we are one of the best graded at emergency medical care, but we're one of the last graded for actually wellness and health care. So I think it's important to know that there are two different types of health care out there. There's the health providing care, and then there's a saving your life care. So when it comes to that, both you have to be an active participant in, but it's like saying, why would I wait till it's too far gone to actually do something for myself? And a lot of those times, like you said, people come to your office and observe, and a lot of these cases are coming into you because they are so far gone, they need an intervention, and the other medical paradigm is telling them, we don't know what to do for you. Take these things or do this stuff until it's like the end of time for you. They come into you, you check them, you get them back on the path to healing. And it's not just for those in crisis care that you help those elite athletes as well.
Listen, Jim, I couldn't have said it better. Obviously, God forbid someone crashes on their motorcycle or their appendix bursts. They don't come to me. I don't know how to sew you up. Thank God for emergency medicine. That's number one. Number two, you are correct that listen, a vast majority of my patients when they come to me have been to several other chiropractors, osteopaths, naturopaths, acupuncturists, medical doctors, homeopaths. They're still sick. They come and they get all better. And like Jim said, I take care of many, many pro athletes. In fact, Carl Joseph on the Raiders, he gets adjusted by me every week. And he made a really nice play on Sunday if you watch the Raiders. But, these guys, the professional athletes who come to me, they come weekly for the most part, and they know the difference that it makes for them.
Yeah, and I think Max Scherzer, who helped win the World Series with the Nationals, talked about his accolades for why chiropractic keeps him in the game and keeps him healthy. So it's no mistake that chiropractic is helping so many people, and it's just the access point. And like we've discussed many times, most people just don't know where to go and who to trust. And I think that that's something that stops people from actually taking care of themselves. I mean, I jump in probably 5 to 10 Ubers a week, and I can't tell you how many times I talk to somebody about my career and what I do, and they didn't know what they could do for their concerns, for their health, for their family's health. And I'm just talking to Uber drivers, man. I'm not even talking about the 300 people I spoke to down in Mexico this past weekend where I helped them. First thing, Pete, that they thought, this guy's going to come here and adjust us. And I was like, no, I'm not a chiropractor. And the crazy thing is I said, I can't adjust you, but I can adjust you above your atlas. So I think that when we talk about what we do together as a team, you with the zone technique, me with becoming an influencer, there's two different levels that we have to really track people on. We have to let them know that they are strong enough and good enough and healthy enough and capable enough. But we also have to let them know that if you go see a zone practitioner, these are the people that are going to help you with your health concerns. So whether it's an Uber driver or a chiropractor or a chiropractic student, one of the things I realized when I was down in Mexico actually is that the chiropractic students, they want to be experts. They want to be the best in class at their adjusting techniques, and they go to like the edge of like they will do whatever it takes to become a better practitioner, which I think is exceptional for them. And here's another cool distinction I learned down there. A lot of these chiropractic students, they're going to state schools. So when they get out of school, guess what? They don't have $250,000 in debt. They actually can go out there and practice with minimal debt load, and they can start an upstart business and a practice and go out there and actually make a living for them and become a great doctor and take care of their communities and like not be in scarcity mindset. They're in abundance mindset down there. They just need to get more people to take care of.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession.
This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Posture Screen, Chiro Thin, Imaging Services, Zingit Solutions, Chiro Moguls, Rhino Coaching, Local Gold, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Go Get Talks, Mahalo Wellness, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Chiro Health USA, and Fit to Lift. Let's hustle.
Actually, I heard about that about Mexico. And also I want to say this, if you're a chiropractic student watching, well, we have many chiropractic students in the Zone School too. Here's the bottom line. It's great to be a great adjuster, and I definitely am, but there's a very small relationship between how good you can move bones and how good results you get in healing. Meaning, I know some chiropractors who are very good bone movers, and I know some chiropractors who are shitty adjusters, and I know in between. And I have seen no correlation between their ability to adjust and their ability to help people heal. Meaning, there's some great bone movers out there who get crap results, and there's some great bone movers out there who get great results. And there's some weak bone movers out there who get crap results, and there's some weak bone movers out there who get great results. There are principles of healing which supersede your ability to adjust. Now, adjusting, if anyone's seen my videos, something I'm quite good at, but that plays maybe 1% of the ingredients to the results in healing I get. So if you're a chiropractic student, yeah, become a good adjuster, but learn the principles of healing, which you'll never learn as well anywhere as the Zone School. And that's a fact. And I would challenge anyone to disprove that, which you can't do. So in the Zone School, I will teach you the principles of healing at the highest level. And how do I know? Results. And just like my friend came to my office, come to my office. Just anyone, come to my office. Come to my office. Because it's easy, by the way, it's easy to go make a speech at DE or CalJam or wherever and talk about whatever. I want to go visit your office. I want to go visit your office and see who's in there. I want to see what your patients are coming for. Because I'm going to go in your office and interview everyone sitting there and say, hey, what did you come for? What did you come for? It's going to be mostly neck and back. But come to my office, it's going to be 90% plus non-neck and back. And if that interests you, that's great. If it doesn't, it's fine. But I said at the beginning of this interview, don't let anything I say upset you, because if you're already super happy, good, be happy. We don't have to interact at all. If you want to take yourself to the level that I'm getting my students to, then join the Zone School.
So I wanted to talk to you about that. You said that there's a pretty big number now that have enrolled into the Zone School at 450. I think when we started working together and you started sponsoring Chiro Hustle, you were maybe at about 200.
I think I was about 80.
So you went from 80 on to 450 people within maybe like, I don't know, a year. So there's been a huge level of attraction for what you're doing. But I think it's because you're stepping out there and you're making yourself present and you're telling people why what you're doing is working. And even some of the guys like we've had on your show and that you've interviewed, like Tim McFadden, guys that were straight, upper cervical. I don't do anything else but move the two bones. And now they've been opened up to a whole nother paradigm of how they're healing people. And actually that Tim McFadden got his hearing back. So when you mentioned that gal earlier with no hearing aids in, it's pretty amazing that when you start clearing out the zones, how the body starts regulating. I'm just impressed by what you do and how you've grown so quickly. It's really cool to brand with you and to see how you're developing yourself in this realm and becoming more of a leader. And I know that you're doing great stuff before you started Zone School, but how has it helped you as a practitioner teaching more people better adjusting techniques and getting them out there to become better practitioners?
Well, I think like anything else, like for example, one of my good friends is Carly Gracie of the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu family. And, people have heard of most people have heard of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. And if you look up Carly Gracie, Carley Gracie, in fact, his website is CarleyGracie.com. Carly Gracie is about 70 years old. Many consider him the best Gracie fighter ever. And he's a good friend of mine. And my patient and one of my jiu-jitsu teachers. And he told me that, even to this day, he's been doing jiu-jitsu since he's 2 years old, 70 years old, for 68 years of jiu-jitsu. And he says, even now when he teaches jiu-jitsu, it makes him learn it better. So, of course, I'm teaching all these students. And on some level, it's only helped me in my own practice, which was already spectacular. And one of the things, to answer your question before, to address what you said before about zone schools growth, is like, listen, like, you've heard of Pinnacle Group, right? The Pinnacle Group in chiropractic. These guys see like 700 a week, 600 a week. They're very successful. I have several Pinnacle people in zone school. And, even one of the owners of Pinnacle told me, one of the most successful chiropractors in the world said, Pete, in 2 months in zone school, I've learned more from you about healing than I've learned in the last 20 years. That's just straight up. So day in and day out, I get these testimonials from students who are these already very successful chiropractors, or some chiropractors who are struggling and then have great success. But either way, they say, Pete, this is the best decision I've made in my healing career. And I hear it basically 7 days a week. So they're just telling their friends, and it's growing and growing and growing.
And what you said there is one of the triunes of chiropractic is the art. And what you do is you teach people how to become better artists at the adjusting technique. And I think that that's what separates what you do from the rest. Obviously, you're very philosophically sound, you're scientifically sound, but the technique that you teach people is what really sets you as the standard when it comes to the adjusting. And I think that that's what so many of these people that may have stepped away from chiropractic because they couldn't get the results that they were looking for. And I think that that's something that really sets you in a zone of your own, that you're able to teach people how to have more self-confidence with what they went to school for 7 years. You can have the greatest philosophy in the world, but if you can't get the results for people's body to respond to your care, then Phil's philosophy is going to go into a conversation. And you can have the greatest scientific approach that you want as a practitioner, but then you're going to become into the zone of a researcher. And if that's what you want, then go for it. But I think a lot of the things that you share is you're teaching people how to set their hands free, how to set their ability to get results into a different paradigm free. And obviously, we go back to the tenets of science, philosophy, and art. And if you don't have a good philosophical stance, then the zone's not going to be as strong. And if you don't have a good scientific stance, then the zone's not going to be as strong. But if you don't have a good adjusting stance, then it doesn't matter how philosophically or science-based you are, you won't get results for people. And that's what I find is to be like one of the most important things in building a chiropractic business, is being able to not only get people in the door, but being able to get results for them. And one of the big things I've heard over time is get them to stay, pay, and to refer. And if you can't get people to stay, pay, and to refer, then you don't have a business. And people aren't going to sing praises from the rooftops that this guy was awesome or this guy was awesome and they helped me. They're going to eventually say, you know what, I went to that practitioner and they could not adjust me. They couldn't get results for me. They still took my money but didn't produce a result for me. Why would I ever tell my friends or family? I'm actually going to stand in the coffee line and tell people that that guy sucked. I'm actually going to stand around the water cooler and say I went to that guy over in that part of town or that gal that part of town and they sucked. So we have to be careful as to how much ego we have involved with the chiropractic profession, because I think a lot of people say, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, but then they go to do the care, actually what people are wanting to come see them for, and they can't deliver the goods.
Here's the thing. When it comes to, very good points, Jim. And listen, like I said at the beginning, people can do what they want. They could be a researcher. They could do a lot of research, look at science. They could get very into the art of adjusting. They could get very into the philosophy of chiropractic. But when you can spend 3 visits, 2 minutes each, once a week with someone who's dying and has their fluid, just, their abdomen filled with fluid, and they're getting it drained every week, and their liver's failing, and in 3 visits, 2 minutes each, you get them all fixed up, D.D. Palmer style, then, get back to me. But you're not going to get back to me unless you're in zone school on that. So all I'm saying is do what you want. Have the kind of practice you want. You could do a lot of like pre and post x-rays. You could do a lot of postural stuff. You could do a lot of research. You could talk a lot of philosophy. You could, learn very advanced adjusting techniques. But, D.D. Palmer, if you look at his book, he was helping people with epilepsy, diabetes, freaking syphilis. And he was adjusting one bone because in his book, he has a glossary. He says, oh, this disease, this bone, this disease, this bone. So D.D. Palmer is giving these one bone adjustments and getting these spectacular results. that's what I'm down with, and that's what Zone School is an extension of. If you're interested, come check it out, and if you don't like it, get a refund. But if you like what you're doing, more power to you.
So click the link above, Zone School of Healing. I'm going to run across the bottom of the screen here, zonetechnique.com. Go check it out. Join the school, see what Dr. Pete can do with you and for you. And money back guarantee. Go out to his hands-on seminar December 7th and 8th in Newark. And it's just about 30 minutes from New York City. And learn from the best. And until then, you'll settle for all the rest. So love and appreciate you, Dr. Pete. Keep on hustling out there, and thank you for supporting the #1 podcast in chiropractic.
It is the number one podcast. That's why I support it.
And you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. I almost broke some shit over here.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.